So let's take a look at the classwork from page 542, 15 to 29, the odds. This is the work from 12.2. So if we look at number 15, the first thing we want is improper fractions. So 10 times 7 is 70, plus 2 is 72 over 7. Drop in our negative symbol, keep our division symbol for now. 4 times 11 is 44, plus 4 is 48 over 11. Drop in our negative. So then we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So 72 over 7 stays the same. Division changes to multiplication. The reciprocal of 48/11ths would be 11/48. Again, don't forget about dropping in your negative sign. Okay, so if we look at 48 and 72, we want to reduce those first. You don't have to, but it's going to make your life a lot easier. You could divide by 2. You could divide by 6. You may even want to start by dividing by 12. So 48 divided by 12 is 4. 72 divided by 12 is 6. And it looks like I can reduce again if I want. Both of these are divisible by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Again, I'm going to move this negative sign up here so it doesn't get lost. I can't reduce anymore. I can't reduce 11 and 7, so we're going to multiply straight across. 3 times 11 is 33. 7 times 2 is 14. The opposite of a negative makes it a positive, but let's change that into a mixed number. 14 goes into 33 twice. 14 times 2 is 28, which means there's 5 left over out of 14. Number 17. Okay, 17, the problem was 8. Oh, and both of these were positive, so it's just really practicing dividing decimals. 8 divided by 2.2. So we're going to take our first number, that's our dividend, that goes inside our division box. We're going to divide by 2.2, but our divisor can't be a decimal. So we need to multiply by 10 or hop it over once. Multiply 8 by 10 or hop it over once. And then I always suggest rewriting so that it doesn't get confusing with all these lines here. Here was my decimal point. I'm going to hop it up right away. I'm going to add 3 zeros just in case I need them. Okay, 22 doesn't go into 8. 22 goes into 80 3 times. 3 times 22 is 66. 80 minus 66 is 14. Bring down that first 0. 22 goes into 140. What would it be? 6 times. 6 times 22 would be 132. Subtract 140 minus 132 is 8. Bring down. Notice we're dividing into 80 just like we did right here. So we know it's going to go in 3 times at 66, subtract, and I get 14. Bring down. However, you may notice that now we're dividing into 140, just like we did here. If you don't see the pattern, you can keep dividing. But when you keep dividing, you're going to notice that both the 6 and the 3 repeat. So our repeating bar can go over both the 6 and the 3. Okay, let's try number 19. Number 19 looks like they gave us some easier numbers to work with. Let me copy the problem for us. Okay, again, the first number is our dividend, so that's going to go inside the division box. The second number becomes our divisor, which we need to be a whole number. So we can multiply by 100 or hop it twice, which means we need to hop this twice and rewrite we're dividing 3 into negative 18. 3 goes into 18 6 times evenly. The opposite of a positive makes it a negative 6. Okay, 21. Ooh, this doesn't look very friendly. Let's try it out. 12.42 or 12 and 42 hundredths divided by negative 4 and 8 tenths. Okay, let's set it up with our first number inside the division box. Second number is our divisor, which we can't have as a decimal, so multiply by 10 or hop that over once. Do the same to the dividends so they remain equal. And then I recommend rewriting it. I'm gonna do it over here where I have room. So negative 48 is being divided into 24.2, not very friendly. Okay, so let's hop to it. 48 goes into 124 twice. 48 doubled is 96. So then we need to take away 124 minus 96 and we get 28. Bring down the 2. So much fun. 48 into 282 goes in 5 times. 5 times 48 is 240. Subtract 282 minus 240 and we get 42. We should at least go to the thousands place. This will come out evenly, I think, if we keep going. Let's check it out. 48 into 420 goes in 8 times. 8 times 48 is 384. Subtract, and we get 36. Bring down the next 0. Oh, I'm running out of room. 48 into 360. 7 times. I think I could keep going and it would probably come out even here, but I'm not going to keep dividing. I'm going to stop here at the thousands place, but I need to remember that this is a negative, okay? And the opposite of a positive makes this a negative answer, okay? We have a couple left. I need a new page to do 23 through 29. Okay, so let's take a look at 23. All right, 23, smashed together means multiplication. So 5 over 6, they're smashed. I'm just gonna put in a multiplication symbol times 8 over 15. And this was a negative. So I'm gonna put the negative symbol here and I'm gonna reduce first. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 8 4 times. Let's make that a negative 4. Let's put that negative symbol here. Let's multiply straight across. 1 times 4 is 4, that was a negative. 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so the opposite of that positive makes it a negative 4/9. 25. Negative 3 1/3 times negative 2 and 7/10. So let's make these improper fractions first. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10 over 3. Drop in our negative sign. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 7 is 27 over 10. And negative symbol can drop down. Ooh, so much fun. Look at all this reducing. 10 goes into 10 once. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 27 9 times. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. I don't need to write it over 1. And the opposite of a negative makes it a positive 9. That one was super fun. Okay, 2 left. 27. Yay, Miss Marion liked this one. 27. This is going to be not too bad. 5 thousandths times 5/100ths, and both of those are negative. So you can set up multiplication if you would like, but I notice here the only values I'm really multiplying are 5 and 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and then we just need to figure out where the decimal point goes. There's 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal points. 1, 2, 3. In my empty spot, I just need a 0. So if I want to rewrite that, I can put a 0 in the front. Let's check this sign. The opposite of a negative makes it a positive. Okay, one more, 29. Okay, so 5/6 times -4.5 times, they had this in parentheses, okay, -2 1/5. So let's get improper fractions, and then we can do some reducing and get on with it. So 5/6 stays the same. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 2. Drop in the negative, and I'm just going to get rid of those parentheses. We don't need it. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. It was a negative. Okay, remember, any numerator can be reduced with any denominator. So here's a numerator, here's a denominator. I can reduce these. 5 goes into 5 once. Okay, and then I can also reduce 6 and 9 by 3. 3 goes into 6 twice. 3 goes into 9 3 times. I don't see any other reducing I can do. So let's multiply straight across. We'll deal with the sign at the end. 1 times 3 is 3, times 11 is 33. 2 times 2 is 4, times 1 is still 4. Let's check the sign before we make it a mixed number. Okay, I have 2 negatives here, so the opposite of a negative makes our answer a positive. So then as a mixed number, 4 goes into 33. Let's see, what would that be? 8 times, because 8 times 4 is 32. There's 1 left over out of 4. So positive 8 1/4.